Now on Peidalim and Beis, and we're being medayik in the lashon of Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema. Now according to Abaye, L'Abaye klal. What is the ribui of the word klal that Rabbi Yehuda ben Tema used? Latuye, in order to be marbe besar chazir. That even in this case, the get is kosher, the tanai is batel, and it's considered like almanashe tal rakia. It's only mafliga b'dvarim, and it's not a tanai because she cannot fulfill that tanai. And what was the miyud of kazeh in the language of Yehuda ben Tema? Lim'ute, to exclude the case where we made a tanai that tibar leploni, that she will have biyah to so and so. And there the tanai is a valid tanai because it's biyad l'kaim. Even though that person might refuse to have biyah with her, but nevertheless she can make him an offer that he can't refuse and put $1 million on the table. Mace for the Gemara now we ask the kasha on Rabbaye. If a man divorces his wife and he says the im hoisa zara, or alternatively if she's not a kohenes, and he says which is an isum misa b'dei shamayim for zar, or another opportunity is v'im hoisa nazira, and he gives her get almanasha tishti yayin, according to Abaye, Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera would say that this Tanai is batal mevutal. It's like almanashe tali l'rakia. And yet the Brisa says in this kaima Tanai reis a get in laveno get. So you see from this Brisa that the Tanai v'yefshel kaima be'isur is a valid Tanai. L'rova nichol Abaye kash amulcha Abaye divrei akol mi sabes divrei akoli hamani rabbanon hi. It's true that according to Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera, this Tanai would be batal mevutal, and the get would be chal, even if there was no kiyama Tanai, and the Nazira did not drink wine, and she didn't have be'ilut so-and-so, and the Zara did not eat truma, but the Rabbanan disagree with Rabbi Yehuda ben Betera, and they would not be machsha the get. They didn't accept the principle of mafliga b'dvarim in a Tanai she'ef shalakayim. In fact, the Gemara, but typically I can invalidate this tonight for a different reason. To have a masna mashikosa b'torah, called masna mashikosa b'torah, to know bottle. If a man marries a woman, almanas, that she wouldn't have sherksus fiona, the tanai is bottle. So now he's setting up a tanai that is against the Torah law. Almanas shetokli basa chazir. He's being masna mashikosa Torah. And the Gemara answers, Amar Rav Ada, v'reider avika mi amrina masna mashikosa b'torah to know bottle. When do we apply this principle? That's Kigon Sherik Susavo Nasa. He was Makadish already said Ariam Kudesh Yamanasha Lois Chayev Loch B'Sherksus Viona. To Huka Akar, he himself through the Tanai is being Oker, the Dvar Torah, and the Chiyev Mitzvah of Sherksus Viona. Aval Hoch, but here, when the Baal gives her a get, and he says to her, let's say, for example, Amanasha Tochli Basa Chazir. So he's not being oker the Torah itself. She's the one who's going to decide whether she eats basar chazir and violate this isur and be oker the Torah. But the Tanai itself inherently is not oker the Torah. Maskif le Ravina objects. Klum ka'akra ihi. Why is she being oker the Torah? Why is she going to eat the basar chazir? Who's the cause here? Who's the culprit? Elikumi Tanai didei, because he made such a Tanai, and she wants to get to be chal. And therefore, he, in effect, is the one who's being oker dovmin Torah. Takach the iu ka He, the masna, meaning the Baal, is the one who's gorem akiris dovmin Torah, and therefore we should apply the principle of kol masna al dovim al mashkos b'Torah to know batel. Ela maravino ki amri masna mashkos b'Torah to know batel kigon sherik susavo nasa devadai ka. The very nature of his Tanai is an akiris government Torah. There's no room for any other possibility. Nobody's forcing her to eat chazir and violate the Torah. Lo techa lo tigari. She has the option of not eating basa chazir. That would account for a bittul aget, and therefore there's no gerushin. She won't be able to matir herself to anybody. So since it's biyada, it's in her hands that she won't eat basar chazir and the gerushin won't be chal. Therefore, the Tanai is not considered to be a gorem of vaday akiris dovim Torah. and therefore it doesn't fit into the category of Masna Mashkos B'Torah Tno Botel. The Ritva explains, V'sheksus v'ona hu masna im haTorah. His Tanai is against the Torah. Shel techayev osa Torah b'dvar melu. He's saying in his Tanai that the Torah will not generate a chiyuv of sheksus v'ona, therefore the Tanai is bottom. But v'basa chaziru masna ma'isha. He's not being masna with the Torah. He's not taking on the Torah. He's taking on the isha. He's saying that if you will do so and so, the get will be chal. If you won't do so and so, then I'm not being megarish. So no one's forcing her, and he himself is not forcing her to violate the Torah. That's not considered masna mashkos b'Torah. Now we go back to the Mishnah on Daf Pei Beis, and a man gives a get with a Tanai of chutz, which is shir, chutz miploni. And Rabbi Eliezer says that the get is chal. Chacham say, Ketzad Yaseh, Yitne Lena, Heimena, V'yachsav Yitnena Lo. Take it back and give it to her again, and this time get it right. And say, Areyat Mutes Chaladim without chutz. Man Tana, who is this Tana? The Gemara now is going to assume that the possibility of taking back that same get and giving it a second time is dependent on the machlokas between Rab Shimon ben Elazar and the Chachamim that we had back on Daf Ayin Ches. Amar Chizkiya, Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar he. In this machlokas between Rab Shimon ben Elazar and Rebbe, our Tana, who says that he takes back the get and gives it to her a second time, which means that he has to go through the Ma'aser Nesina a second round. It's not enough that he just says, "Oh, Harei Muteres L'Chol Adam," and he leaves out Chutz Miplon. He's got to repeat the Nesina. That's Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. The sign we learned in the Bryce. A man says to a woman, "Kinsi shtarchov zeh," and he doesn't say to her, "Hey Gittin." Reb Shimon Elazar Omer Ad Shitlenu Imenu V'Yachsav Yitnenu Lo. He's got to redo the Nesina. The Nesina itself, which was given under her understanding as a shtarchov, not as a get, without hagitech, is not a nesina. The nesina is a nesina psula, has to be replaced by a nesina kshera. For Yomer on the second round, he says to hagitech, and he gets it round. But Rebbe holds no. There's no need to take back the get and give a second nesina. All he has to do is say hagitech. And there's no need for a chazara shenis of an asinas haget. And our mission that requires, in the case of chutz, a new nesina, and it's not enough that he says Harei Muteres L'Chol Adam, that reflects the shita of Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, ben Elazar. Sorry. And now Rabbi Yochanan expresses a dissenting opinion. Rabbi Yochanan Omar afilu tema. You could answer our Mishnah even according to Rebbe. Dilchon Omar Rav Kahana, who was Dilchon, he means Shalachem, because he came from Babel to Eretz Yisrael. Omar, he made a statement that even according to Rebbe, you would not need a second Nesina in the case of Kinsi Shtarchov Zeh. But here, in the case of chutz, you would require a second nesina. Why? Shani hacha, our case of chutz is different, and even Rebbe agrees that you need a new nesina. Why holukna? Also, because the get of chutz is a valid get to some extent. L'gabi ma, regarding what is the get valid, pasala bo lekahuna. Right, we had a special diuk in the pasuk that says that she's muteres, that she's not a grusha in the case of chutz, as far as being mater li alma, but she is a grusha as far as kahuna is concerned. So therefore, when she receives the get with a Tanai of chutz, that get is chal to some extent. It is a kinya that she made on the get. So that means that the first nesina registers. And therefore, it's not enough for him to say, hey, Gitech, or to say, Aret Muteres Kol Adam. He's got to take back the get, even according to Rebbe, and give it a second time. But in the case of Kinsi Shtachot Zeh, the woman gets nothing from this get. It's not valid for anything. So therefore, it wasn't locked in as a Nesina Psula, which was Chal and generated Dinim. It wasn't Nesina at all. So it means the original Nesina is still Chai V'Kayim. All he needs is to say Areza Gitech. And this is a deep, deep pilpul here. In footnote Nabi Yud Aleph here in the Masifta, I mean, this is really for an Ian Shia, but not for us. In any event. Now, the get is divided into two parts. There's the Tofes, which is the Nusach HaGet, but then there's the Toref, which is the most important part of the get. That's Makom, Shem HaIsh, Shem HaIsha, and Zman. And the Mishnah tells us, Ksavo, if he wrote in the get Aret Muteres Kol Adam El Leploni B'Sochu, he wrote that in the get Chutz, then even if he erases it, he cannot give the get. The get is possible. Omer Rav Safra, Ksavo B'Socho Tnan. Why is the get possible? Because he wrote the Chutz in the Gufo Shel Get. But if he said it Baal Peh, the get is not possible. And even if he would tell the Sofer and the Eidim that I want you to give the get with a chutz miploni, and that's my das, nevertheless, if it wasn't written in the get, then the get is kosher. Pshita. So Gemara says, thank you, Rav Safra, but you're just basically reading the Mishnah to me. Because what does it say in the Mishnah? It says, Ksavo b'tocho tanan. In other words, that it's only possible because the chutz was written in the get. And the Gemara answers, no, I need the Chiddush of Rav Safra. Malditem, I would have said, Hani, Mili. When does the Mishnah allow for this distinction? And the get is only possible if the Chutz Miploni was written in the Gufo Shel Get, but not in the case where it was said to her Baal Peh. I would have said that's only Liachar Torah. If when he turned to the Eidim and he said to them, Chutz, the Torah had already been written. And once the Torah was written and the Ikar Get is Chal, before he added that Tanai of Chutz, then he's not going to passel the Get when he tells the Eidim that it's Almanas Chutz. Avo, but Lifnei Torah, if the Torah has not been written yet, Afilu Baal Peh Nami Passel, maybe we would entertain that in this case, even if the Chutz Miploni was not written and inscribed in the Gufo Shel Get, but he said it to the Eidim before they wrote the Torah, if that's enough to passel the Get, Kamashma of Safra wants to teach us that our mission of Ksava B'tocha Tnan, and Dafka, if this Chutz was written in the Get is possible, but if he said it to Baal Peh, it doesn't matter whether it was said Baal Peh after the Ksivas HaTorah, which is simple, or if it was said before the Ksivas HaTorah, it doesn't matter. The Torah is written according to what's in the get. And if at the end of the day, he agrees that she should be muteres l'chol adam, and he's willing to remove the Tanai of Chutz, then that's how we view the Edus and the writing of the get, even the Torah. For Rav Amar Lo Shana, Rav says, no, I disagree with Rav Safra. When do we say that if he adds Chutz Leploni apostles the get only because it's written in the get? That's only if the Baal Peh was Liachar Torah. Aval Lifnei Torah, if the Baal Peh, meaning the Chutz Miploni, which was mandated to the Eidim, was before they wrote the Torah, as I feel Baal Peh Nami Apostle, the get was written on the Tanai on understanding that it would be a Chutz Miploni and therefore it's a get possible. The Azda Rav Litamei, the Amalei Rav Lahanu Ksave Giti, Rava used to mandate or recommend to the Kosvei Gittin, meaning the Sofrim, that Shasku Shesuke Labal Adik Sivuso Leila Torf to Gittin. Make sure that the Baal is shut up, meaning lock him up or muzzle him until the get is written, so that he shouldn't add a Tanai, which would possibly get. Tan Rabbanon, Kol Atnoim, any Tanai that's written in the get. For example, Al Menashe Titni the Masayim Zuz, Poslim Beget, even if she will be Makayim the Tanai and give fork over the Masayim Zuz, Divrei Rebbe holds the get is bottle. The Gemara is going to explain Rebbe later on. It depends. Kol she posel bal peh posel beget. Kol she eno posel bal peh eno posel biktav. If he adds a tanai like chutz, which even bal peh would be possible, then if he wrote it in the get, it's possible. But if he added a tanai which would not possible the get, and he said it bal peh, then even if he wrote it in the shtar in the get itself, it wouldn't possible. And the Gemara explains the Chacham. Chutz, if he made a tanai of chutz, he said, it will passel bal peh. You know, it's from the time of the Mesiras, Haget. Again, you have to know whether this brisa is difficult according to Rav Safra, who says that if it's bal peh, it doesn't passel the get. Okay, fine. But let's go simply now according to Rav. Is posel b'ksav. Then if it was written in the get chutz miploni, then the get is posel. But almanas, in the case of almanas shetitni li masayim zush, ain't no posel bal peh, is ain't no posel b'ksav. And that makes 100% sense. And now the Gemara is going to embark on an explanation of the machlokas between Rebbe and the Chachamim. Rabbi Zeir machlokas lifnei Torah. If he adds the Tanai before the Torah, or shall we say it was written in the get before the Torah, the Rebbe Savargaz reading Almanas Otu Chutz. Even if it was a Tanai of Almanas, we're afraid of Chutz, and Chutz would passel the get if it was written in the get. Rabbanan Savri Lo Gazrin and Almanas Otu Chutz. Avol Yachar Toref. Okay, then, so this is where we're going to stop here on the top of Pei Omid. Okay, then, wishing you a great day, and